Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Give My Head podcast number. I can't remember what number. We must be near 20 now, are we? Oh, with 20 episodes. I can't believe we've lasted this long. Thank you very much for joining us. We are sponsored, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted to say we are sponsored by none other than PhoenixEnergyNI.com. Phoenix Energy for all your energy needs. And gas is the way forward. Gas, are you gas?
Oh, I'm gas, 100%. Can't beat it.
It's very convenient. You don't need an oil tank, stuff like that.
Listen, gas is great.
Gas is great.
Can you produce biomethane?
I can produce whatever you want. There's somebody I can get you for anything you want.
No, they're really into biomethane. You know what that is? It's where they're going to use like
Is that cow
energy.
farts?
Yes, create energy from animal waste. Like, but I'm just wondering. I mean, is it just? Could you be able to?
I'd be able to produce my own gas for them. It'd be no problem.
Well, there you go.
It is friendlier for the environment. Gas is definitely friendly from the environment. It's cheap and efficient. You don't need instant hot water. And if you go on PhoenixEnergyNI.com, they'll tell you how to switch if you want to switch. They're very, very friendly. I did a gig for them last Christmas. You know the way sometimes you do a corporate gig, Paddy, and you go, these people don't like each other and they don't like the Phoenix Energy people were lovely.
I was that one. You done it?
I did. It was in
Le Mans, I think I was there. You done it before?
I did one for them before. I did one for them in the Kingspan. So Phoenix Energy people, really, really nice people.
I like Tim McGarry. Anyway, haven't got me for one.
So go if you for all your energy needs, go to PhoenixEnergyNI.com. And if you like the podcast, subscribe and follow us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're delighted. This podcast, we have a nice variety of people. We have politicians, we have comedians, we have actors and stuff like that. We have one of the stars of local comedy, lady, and one of the biggest names in local comedy. He's looking around. It is none other, ladies and gentlemen, than Paddy McDonnell. Paddy McDonnell, welcome,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Paddy, thank you very much for joining us. How are you, sir? Are you well?
I'm great. I'm tired, but I'm great.
You're tired because you're non-stop gigging, aren't you?
Gigging and rehearsing, so yeah,
Now,
tired.
to get this out of the way at the start, we are fellow Westies.
Yes. I could feel
Yes.
the brotherhood there.
Yes, as soon as you come in, yeah. I mean, it was kind of like, I suppose, being a comedian and being from the West, it was never really much of a challenge, was it?
No.
I mean
my primary school teacher was Mr. Lenan in St. Kevin's. He said to my ma, if that child doesn't make money out of his mouth, I don't know what's going to happen, because he's proper West Belfast. Like, just oozes out of you, doesn't it?
Yep, it just comes naturally.
It does.
See, you Westies, you're a weird bunch. I'm a North Belfast person. West Belfast people, you live in your own wee world, don't you? You think you're the centre of the
The mad
universe.
thing about North Belfast is you are really funny. Like, you know, you have people that live right in Ardown, and you go, you're from Ardown, they go, I'm from the Bone. You know, you are weird that way.
Well, I know a guy from North Belfast, and he refers to West Belfast as Middle Earth. That's what he calls it. If I'm going there, I'm going to Middle Earth.
Well, they do need a visa to come in, don't they? Like?
Well, North Belfast has produced the best comedians, of course. We've Jake O'Kane, we've me.
You said
John
the
Lennon.
best. You said the best.
The best comedians.
You mentioned one good one there, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was. I'm going to leave it hanging.
But you came at comedy from a weird way, didn't you? You had a bit of a troubled time, hadn't you?
Troubled time, but you're right. We all have troubles. I think that's why you're funny. You're in this business, because you have to be something wrong with you to do it. But yeah,
were you a doorman or something?
I was working as a doorman as well as a joiner, and was getting married and just sort of doing the door at the weekend to keep me off a drink, plus to get an extra few quid. And funny, the mad thing about it was we went on our honeymoon to the Maldives. That's how good it was getting.
The Maldives?
The Maldives was lovely.
Get you. I was in the Maldives last year. It's very exciting.
It was great. Yeah. But we were there and we met this Englishman whose parents were, one was from Belfast and one was from Sligo, and they went to London to get married, obviously Catholic and Protestant. And his son was killed down the door, and he was like, you have to leave this job. And I'm like, I will. And he convinced me to do it. So we came back, and I says, I'm leaving. 2 months later, I was still working on the door. Like, this is my last week. And I got my finger bit off.
Bit off. Oh.
Yep. So...
Was it? Whoa! What? Why? How? What? That's those are big teeth.
It's a very long. Well,
they cut through the actual bone.
Bone and all was took. Yeah.
You lost a.
Bloody hell!
So
bloody hell!
That's my Bluetooth now.
That's proper Dave Allen. That.
Dave Allen, yeah.
I know. I'm playing the part, but yeah. So he took me to court.
What?
Says he got food poisoning. But look, at the time it was a real bad time, and went into sort of depression and stuff like that, and comedy just came up. It was the first day of the court case. It was 4 years later, And she was trying to take my mind off it, so she looked up comedy. And
Your missus
my
encouraged
missus,
you?
yeah. So she looked up comedy. Somebody says, he loves comedy, he was always funny, bring him somewhere. She looked up, and the only comedy night that was on that night, it was the 1st of November 2011, was the Pavilion.
Right, on the Omer
And
Road.
she contacted Graham Watson. She was like, want to bring my husband over to a comedy. He mistook the whole thing, so he's like, yeah, bring him over. I get over, call me on the stage, and that was it.
So you were a bouncer, right? Because it's funny, like in a previous life when I was a lawyer, we did sue quite a few times over bouncers. You know, it's one of those regular things that you would have done.
Yeah.
But this would have been back in the 90s, before mobile phones and all that. You know,
Yep.
we never won.
Yeah.
You never once won, because the first question in court was always, "Were you drunk?" You know, and as soon as our client admitted that he'd had a few drinks, that was it. It was
Then
the
they got away
bouncer's
with it.
word against his. But
Yeah, I think that, I mean, you could go into the things of it all. I think it was a case of a bad bouncer, and the guy who bit my finger off was a teacher. So it was one of them
Teacher?
ones. Yeah, so it was one of them ones where their case, they made it out that it wasn't him that done it,
Right.
which was, it wasn't me, it was the PPS, was taking him for GBH with intent, which is one below manslaughter or something like that. But you need to be 99.7%.
You have to be all legal about this, but is this man convicted, or is it?
No, he got away with it, so it was a big case. It was a big case for about 3 years, you know. So
Right, okay.
he got away with it, sort of
All
thing.
right, so you're labelling him, not us. So just to be
100%.
absolutely
Oh well,
clear,
I mean, I've never
the
changed the
poor
narrative.
innocent man.
I've never changed the narrative. It was him that done it.
All right, okay,
Like
all
I couldn't point him out in court, Tim, but you know what I mean.
Right, so
Yeah.
he hasn't sued you.
the
but
man was acquitted. Let's get this
Yeah,
right.
man was acquitted.
the man is innocent. He just
See, doing podcasts with lawyers, it's fucking strange.
a man.
According to the law, he is innocent.
Yes.
A man innocent. He went out to a bar and fancied a bit of a snack, and then
I lost a bit of my finger and he got away with it. That's
okay.
my story and I'm sticking it. But yeah, so he got away with it anyway, and it was one of them things. It was always a terrible thing, and depression and stuff.
No,
but
I'm losing a bloody fingers. Kind of. That's
yeah,
awful.
but it did. It put my head away, and then I lost the joinery business and everything. Like, it was just one of them. You don't even see it coming, and it did go into depression. Like, or I haven't hid the
Right.
fact that I've said that.
Do you get DLA for it?
No, I do not. I didn't get money for that at the time because of the criminal record, but we'll not go into that. And I always like, you're not getting nothing from us, so I didn't get it from anybody. That's what people say. Do you reckon that? Here's me. The only thing I got out of it is that it put me down this path.
Right.
Yes.
Do you know? Because where would it be? Would it be still standing on the door, or would it be on a building site
Yeah.
right now?
And how many years ago was that?
Well, it was 2011 when I started comedy. The finger was 2007. So
Wow.
Bloody hell.
So 2011, you started comedy in the
Mm-hmm.
Pavilion with somebody called you up. Did you know material? Had you prepared anything? Or you
not
just,
really, because I didn't know what the process was. Do you know what I mean? It was just like we were going to a comedy night. I never really thought about it that much. Like, I didn't know that. And then I got up and what I basically just talked about was kids and, you know, my head being away, and people just found it funny.
right.
But what I got out of it was a sense of relief, because people were laughing and I was like, I'm talking about this and they're thinking it funny, like, you know. So, I mean, the way I look at it now is I have a career out of it, and I forgive your man for doing it, because I'm going, was it one of them things where you were down the wrong path and this a wee tiny bit of your finger makes you go down the right path? So
Yeah.
I can't
Wow.
really complain, you know.
Well, you can't really, can you?
So
And the first time you went on stage, then were you nervous, or did you feel
Not
like
one
it was
bit.
naturally what you wanted to do?
no, I never even thought, even at that stage, like even after 2 months of it, I didn't think of it being a career. I just went, well, this is a new hobby for me here. This is going to be great. I'm going to enjoy this, because my football was done at that stage. Like, I was no good. Daphne Celtic were not going to send me at 27 with half a finger anymore. Like, but it was, I didn't even think of it as a career that way. It was one of them things you just done it. I'd say to people, it was like doing drugs for the first time, the feeling I got. And it was just like, I want to do that again. So it was just, I was like a junkie for comedy. I was just like, I want to do it, I want to do stage time. And I wasn't worried about money, because the first couple of years, like, you didn't get anything, not even money. You were just doing it for nothing. And I was driving all over Ireland. And then I just fell in love with it. So
Yeah.
Are you a junkie for comedy?
I love stand-up. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
doing stand-up. I did a wee solo show there for the first time in 8 years. full
which I said to you
70
about
minutes.
2 years ago. We were starting. I said to you, Tim, you need to do it.
I know. So to be fair, you and several other people have encouraged me, and I've really loved it. Because
Yeah.
I do a bit of stand-up in our solo show. By the way, Give My Head Peace Live is on tour in March, and I do a bit of
Shameless
stand-up in the middle of it. Shameless plug. Yeah. We're on tour
No.
at the Grand Opera House at the end of March. Get your tickets now. Give My Head Peace Live.
See, I tried stand up and I didn't like it at all.
No, you see, some people
The
don't.
exposure, I just couldn't take the
Yeah.
the exposure. You know,
Some people just don't like it.
It was different when you're on stage and you've got a few mates with you, and you've all throwing lines across to each other. It's an entirely different.
Oh, it is. It's completely different.
Discipline. But stand up, you really need to really want to do it.
There's been a load of actors I know. Young Brenton Quinn, I think he's made a hell of one, didn't you? He was like, I'm going to give this a go. I says, whatever you need me to tell you. I mean, you're a performer, so this is what you need to do. And he gave it a go, but he sort of stopped after a while. He went, fuck this.
You need to be wired for it, like you really do.
It does. It's a certain.
You have you're naturally funny, but there are loads of people say, oh, you see him, he's hilarious in the pub, and then you stand him and give him a microphone and they die and they go, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say.
Many people like that.
You can make that leap from kind of being funny naturally to
being funny in the bar, and like people would have said I was like a gunslinger in a bar, like you didn't say anything to me because you said something to me, like I took you down and I went too far, like I would and just kept going. Doing stand up and that's completely different.
That's like John Lennon. I mean, John. I would never take John on.
I mean, I'm feared of him.
No, you wouldn't take John on.
Some of the best things ever. I done a gig with John when the golf was on down in Newcastle, and they had all the golfers in this hall. It was the cinema. What do you call it? The St Mary's Hall down in Newcastle. And I goes in anyway and have all these promo guards for everybody. Everybody had a promo guard. These wee girls and all her done on the makeup and all. So I went in. John says, "You've got your own girl." Look. And I was going, right. And she was like, "I bring in through your dressing room," and brought me over. And John says, "He only got this gig because that's my son. He's not even funny." And the wee girl was like, "Don't say that about your son. Don't say that about your son." He's like, "It's true. He's shaped, right?" So he got changed anyway. And I got on first. So next minute I'm up and she's standing looking at him going, "I can't believe you said that about him, your son and all." And he's going, "Don't worry about it, love. Look, he's not right in the head and all." He's just saying everything. So I went on and done 20 minutes and I came off, the whole place is laughing, and I came off and she went, "Your daddy's wrong. You're so funny. You're so funny." And I had brought him on, so he's on stage and she wouldn't hook up at the side of the stage talking to me. And John's on stage doing a set and he couldn't concentrate and he just turned around and all I heard was, "Paddy, tell your future ex-wife to shut the fuck up." I hear collapse here, so what's happening to me? Don't worry about it. It's just that quickness of him. He's just,
he's lightning.
He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's one of them ones just growing up. I remember he was doing the pantomime and my aunt was working for PT and got all tickets. And the whole way through, my cousin now, her son, he'd be raging, I talk about this, but he's a doctor now. But he, the whole way through, he was a very smart kid, and he knew this tractor number. It was like a John Deere. It was a big plastic tractor thing. I'm getting a John Deere thing the whole way leading up to Christmas. So we get in, and John comes over to my aunt, and he's like, "We normally bring a couple of kids up on the stage." And she looked along the line, she looked at me, and he went, "What about him?" And he went, "No way, right?" And then she went, "My son Brenton, he's actually he knows what he wants for Christmas, and he'll not say anything wrong." And I was like, right, dead on. And all the kids that was there, the tickets were given out to soldiers' kids and then like BT and all the big companies. So they bring them all on the stage and he's going along, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the wee girl's like, "I want this doll." And very good. "What do you want?" "Get the art Brenton." "What do you want?" He went, "A big gun to shoot the Brits." And my aunt just turned to me and went, "You told him to say that?" I went, "I didn't, but somebody had told him that." Like out the back, and John's face, and just the whole, like it was just the way he went. He just went. It was something, I can't remember what he said back, but the whole place was just like, "What did that child just say?" It was so funny. Like. But going to see him in the pantomime, it's like, even if you go and see him now, it's just...
Oh no, he's the longest serving panto dame in the UK, I think.
Probably the highest paid too, and well deserved. Like, but he's a big mate of mine. His kids are all up, and he still takes his box in the panto, like, just for him to take the hand out of him and his wife. Like, it's an institution that way.
Yeah. God bless John.
God bless him.
He's absolutely institute. But it's interesting, you started about 2011. There's been an absolute explosion in comedy here locally. There's yourself and the likes of Colin Geddes and Shane Todd and Mickey Bartlett. But you're selling out in arenas, like, which is unheard. I mean, we started in radio and then television and stuff. You don't even need TV or radio. So you don't.
Well, it's changed that way. You know, we're like, so you guys needed like the TV shows, like the Blame Game. There's a few boys on it that would have went out and done a tour after that. Whereas we have our own TV companies with podcasts and your own social media. That's the way people live now. It's not even, growing up, I had to come home from the disco in the youth club when I was a kid and made a ice cream soda, a smoky as we called them in West Belfast, and sat and watched Fusions on TV on a Friday night. people don't schedule their life like that
No.
anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like that the end of it's gone. People
No,
watch.
it's become very nostalgic. I mean, people come up to me and say, "Oh, you know, you were part of my childhood because on a Friday, you know, my granny was still alive, and my dad would get the pizza in, and we'd all sit and we'd all watch Give Me Headpiece on a Friday night.
100%.
You know, that whole it was a family experience that you know that these that they had as children. Whereas now it's. I don't know if it still exists, does it? I mean...
But that's what I mean. So a Tap of Pops isn't about no more. People stayed in the Thursday night to watch Tap of Pops.
Yeah.
Like even the thing, you made that show about the Troubles and the newsreels and all. But the music in it and all that there too. Remember I said to you before, it's all that brings it all back to people.
Yeah.
You know, that way. And I remember like even as a kid watching Paddy Jenkins. I don't know if any of you've done it. Like the pantomimes in St Agnes' Hall. Did you?
Oh
do
yeah,
it?
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I was never in them, but yeah.
Paddy done
Sam
them,
Fitzsimons used to put them on. Paddy used to do them. Yeah.
So good. Like no, all that. Like there's not as much as that anymore. I don't think, you know. But as kids, like we always remember that, and I always remember like Give My Headpiece on a Friday night because my dad was always in the bar, and my mum used to just let me get spoiled in the house, and I got the TV. Do you know what I mean? You sat and watched Tuesdays on it. Like,
Dad was in the back. Did I meet your dad on McDonnell Street tonight?
well, you probably met him in the jail or something.
Does he give you much material, Paddy?
Jesus Christ. He's not allowed to go to his shows anymore.
Is he not?
No, I just don't go. He told me one time, he says he came out the back and he came with all his mates from a Celtic club he's in over in North Belfast. Funny enough, he's in a Celtic club over there. He must have got through to one in West Belfast. But he came to me and he brought all his mates and I finished the show and the place all going mad. And he came out the back to me and he's like, they're all laughing at you out there. And I like, that's the whole point of it. He's like, no, but they're laughing at you. And I went, that's the point of it. And he's like, nah, they're all laughing at you. Just shook his head and walked away. And I was like, fuck me. Not more can do here, you know.
Be a lot worse if they weren't laughing at you.
Well, that's what I said to him. You coming in and going, that was a disaster, brother.
So you still have a podcast, do you?
Yes, me and William Thompson do it.
Oh, right.
The Mudblood.
The Mudblood. Oh,
we only started that just as a. There was me, him, and Kieran, and I was like, "Mama, do the Ulster. We'll book the Ulster Hall, and all three of us do it." And they were like, "I don't know if we'll sell the tickets." And I was like, "Well, between the three of us, we'll push it, you know." I don't know. And then Kieran was like, "No, I'm out." And then Willie says, "No, I'll still do the show with you." And then we went from the Ulster Hall, we then went till the Limelight. So we put on a wee show in the Limelight, just the wee small room.
Right.
100
As a
tickets
podcast or just a...
No, just as a show.
stand-up show?
And Willie says, "What we'll do to sell the tickets?" And I says, "Well, we'll start a podcast just to get 100 people to go."
Right.
And that's how we started. And the whole thing, because we had all these people at the start were like, this has nothing to do with Harry Potter. Because it's called the Mudblood. And I'm like, no, it's called Mudblood because he's a Protestant and I'm a Catholic. But my thing is, if everybody done a DNA test in this country, you would have both sides in you.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. We're all Mudbloods. There's nobody's not, you know, there's nobody 100% pure. And so that was the whole thought process behind it. And it did. It just took off. People seemed to enjoy it. And we got a grant because he's disabled.
Very good.
And the Protestant. I don't know if the two things are connected. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Is Willie disabled? He doesn't tell anybody.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't tell
go
you.
bang on and on and on about it. Sure, he doesn't.
And then he goes to everybody, he tortures me about being disabled. Of course it do. Look, I'm old enough to be his dad, so that's I can't
Are you?
slag
Don't
him
say
about
that,
it.
are you?
No, I am, yeah. Oh, I'm
He's
full.
quite young, isn't
He is. And everybody at the start was like, because Willie was like 17, 18 when he started, and they were like, you two don't like each other, but I think it was just a working class thing. He was working class, but we just slagged each other, you know, like, shut up and all. Like, you just know the way you spoke to each other in the green rooms, and everybody's like, they don't like each other. I mean, we're actually very good mates. Do you know, we just get the gist of each other, and it's just a crack.
Aye, he's a good lad.
He is.
But you're right, we're all mixed up. I did a DNA test recently.
I done one too.
Found I'm half Ulster Scot, you know. A
There you
few
go.
generations back. Yeah.
There you go.
See, half Protestant. Yeah.
It killed me because I done mine and it came back. Now, no English. It didn't say I was English in it at all, which I was raging with because I was trying to wind up part of the family. But it did say that part of the family went to England and there was like 3 or 4 generations. So I was like, listen, we were in Yorkshire. We invaded Yorkshire before they invaded here, you know. But I was 91% Irish, 5% Scottish, 2% Norwegian and 2% Welsh.
Yeah.
No American Indian in there, no?
No, none at all.
Well, I
None
was
at all.
93% Irish, 4% Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain, basically. 3% Magyar, which is hungry.
Yeah.
Bizarrely, this is true. Less than 1% Sephardic Jewish. Really? Sephardic Jewish, yeah.
That's a fair mix,
It
sir.
is a good mix, isn't it? Yeah. Jewish Irish comedian. Yeah, they're the best comedians. Anybody who doesn't like this is anti-Semitic.
So you're not supporting the Palestinian cause, then, Tim?
Oh yeah. Let's raise that one.
Yes. I'll sit this one out.
Yeah, but they're fascinating, those things, because even a couple of generations back, as I say, my great granny was from the Ards Peninsula, and she was a result of an illicit affair. She was illegitimate from a Presbyterian farmer's assistant and a Catholic maid on the Ards Peninsula.
See, and that's the point.
It was going on even then.
Yeah, my dad's adopted, and his family, big family from Cool Island, but his great granny was actually. She was French, and she was courted in the royal establishment. She was like an au pair for the royal establishment over thing. And it was his great-great-grandfather who fought in the Second World War or whatever. He met her in that establishment. He was an officer in the RAF or something, and he brought her back, and she was the first person to teach French in Dungannon Academy or something like that. So it was like, no French whatsoever in my blood, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, do you know what I mean? That didn't flag up, but yeah. So and then their daughter went on to marry my dad's family in Coal Island, and because she married a Catholic, then they ousted her out of the family.
Right. Oh wow.
But they were a big Protestant family, so that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's you see all this, and you go, see, it's always going on.
Yeah.
It's always mixture.
But even Protestants are becoming funny now as well. It's not like
Do you know any? Uncle William's one. He is funny. It's
William's
wrong to
very
say.
good.
He is. He's very funny. His granny's Catholic, so that's probably where he gets it from. They used to say Neil Dugan was quite funny.
Do you remember Neil Dugan? Yeah, Neil. I was at a thing last Saturday night, and a guy worked with Neil in shorts and said Neil was a really good comedian, and he gave it up. And a lot of time for Neil. Neil did a couple of gigs. Did the integrated education gig for me. Neil was really good. Yeah,
I liked this. He done that show. I think you came.
I'm only joking, by the way, about Protestants not being funny. Just in case people sometimes go, "Oh, you're not serious." No, I'm not serious at all. Jim Alister's very funny.
He is. Jimmy Bryson, no, 100%. Jimmy
but deliberately funny.
But Neil was great. His show, the last show he done, which was the Protestant one.
Yeah, the one about being Protestant and stuff.
Stuff
it was
in
really,
that
really good
was
stuff.
really class.
And it deserved more.
100%.
But that's the trouble now. He wasn't.
Just before.
It's just before this internet thing comes on and podcasts and people posting stuff online, and now you get to the point where there's people I've never heard of are filling the SSE arena. No disrespect to yourself or anybody else. No, genuinely, you got people you go, what the hell happened? And it's all online stuff, isn't it? You know? And
that's it's just a clip. A clip goes out in the next minute.
But it's become like a middle class profession now. You know, you can be a lawyer or a doctor or a comedian, whichever one you want to go for.
Yeah. I think it's sort of like back in the day, if you had like a family that had there's a few families I know, and they went on to be doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, and they maybe had a brother who wasn't that smart, so they became a cop. Whereas now the new one is become a comedian. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's hundreds of them now.
Well, cops are comedians.
You never see a cop. Here's the last time you saw a cop.
You had a comedian. You never had a peeler.
We actually did a sketch in our Give Me Head piece last year where a guy's being robbed, and he's rolling through the town. It's Christmas time, and he stops this guy who thinks he's a cop. He says, you know, you gotta help me. You gotta help me. I'm being robbed here. And he goes, no, mate, I'm not a cop. I'm doing blue lights. I'm just an actor. I'm just playing a cop. You know?
Finds another cop and goes, Hope Street, mate. You know.
There's more cops in the TV preview than this thing. Jimmy Nesbitt, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But the comedy now, I mean, it's absolutely. I've been asked to do loads of wee gigs around it. There's gigs everywhere. Around. And there's
Everywhere.
loads of people. I did a roast for Willie Thompson, and there was about 10 fellas on stage, and I recognise about half of them. You know?
There you go. Do you get an aid thing or just
Oh,
you only know them if they've done the blame game? Is that what it is?
yeah,
then?
that's it. Yeah, would you have done the blame game?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
did
it was
you
great.
enjoyed it?
I loved it. I did love it. It's hard to come in. I think you all have a good connection on the show.
Yeah, no, it is genuinely
I think
hard.
it's hard
for
to
the
come in and to know your place, sort of thing. That way, you don't really want to step on anybody's toes. But I loved it. I still love doing it. Like,
Yeah.
didn't get asked back after
You're
the
asking,
second.
you're pitching to ask, but is that right? Well, we only got 4 shoots.
Are you formally asking him back?
No, it's
I don't
slightly
think
out of my pay grade.
Tim's like a goalkeeper in a football team. He doesn't pick the team. That's
No, I
it.
do not pick the team. No. But you
He's-
were very good on it.
No,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
It was great.
yeah.
And yet again, another show that you would have watched, Blame Game growing up. So it was a big box sticker,
Yeah.
Just have to do Give Me Headpiece now. Like a cameo role.
Well, that's, yeah.
Do you know, like a scumbag from West Belfast? Because the funny thing about it is, there's been people who have done like a few things that's been pilots or shows.
Yeah.
And I was actually me in it,
Right.
Mm-hmm. but they still made me audition for the part.
Audition for you?
Can you do a West Belfast accent?
No, it's not. It wasn't that. I wasn't even in it. It was like, this part is Paddy McDonnell. So if you could do Paddy McDonnell, I'm looking at the guy who had me in for the audition as if to say, did you read to see the name? Because he told me, can you do Paddy McDonnell? And I didn't get the part
You didn't.
both times. And the guy that got the part, one of them, you know him, right? He phoned me up and he was like, and he's an actor, and he's like, Paddy, do you mind if I spend the day with you? Because this part's you. And I was like, go fuck yourself. I fucking didn't even get the part as myself. How bad are you? Like, I don't even get the part
We
as
always
yourself.
wanted to do a TV show called That's Our Hitler.
Yep.
And the idea was to look at all the Hitlers that anybody played Hitler, so from Charlie Chaplin, right through to Downfall and
Bruno
all that.
Ganz.
Yes, because nearly everybody's played Hitler at some
Yep.
stage.
Yep.
Alec Guinness played Hitler, and they've all.
Thing played him, what do you call him? The Scottish actor?
Yes, he did
Sean Connery.
He was in Full Monty.
Full Monty.
Carlisle.
Robert
Yeah,
Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle
Carlyle
played
done it.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Everybody's played Hitler. Any actor worth his salt played Hitler. But what we wanted to say, we would, the real Hitler as himself, he would come about 10th in it.
He wouldn't have got the part,
He
no,
wouldn't,
you're right.
he wouldn't actually win he wouldn't win the praise as,
get
as that's our Hitler,
There's a comedian does a show which is his character's called Frank Sinatra.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen him?
I've seen this.
So like people go, that's terrible. It's not. It's
It's-
very smart.
Yes.
So what the thing is, he's Frank Sinatra,
Frank Sinatra.
and Adolf Hitler.
right?
So he changes all the songs. So he sings like, you've got me under Berlin. It's so funny. Like and he looks like him. I went to see it. I was in.
Yeah, I've
tears
seen him
laughing.
online. I've seen clips
Yeah,
of
it,
him.
Oh my
it
God.
sounds like genius because
It is so
how would you
good.
actually think about that?
It's so Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
I watched it in Edinburgh, and I was at the back of the room, like literally holding myself, and yet there was people going, "This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace." And he's going, "It's a character.
Yeah.
It's a play on it. There's nothing that he sings about's too controversial. It's just funny gyps with
There's
it."
some people take themselves too seriously. Aren't they?
You see the poster. He's
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. Don't go. You don't want to watch it.
That's right.
Don't watch
If
it.
you see a Paddy McDonnell pool, you don't want stories about West Belfast. Don't go.
Don't go. It was last year in the Millennium Forum, 4 people walked out, and it says he
that
was
right?
he was too takey.
Seriously?
Too takey.
Too takey.
Too takey. That was the term, and I was like, too takey? Really?
And is that like a badge of honour that you're?
I didn't think I was that takey. But there you go.
How do
Yeah.
you define too takey?
I don't know. I didn't know there was a scale, a Richter scale. It's a Richter scale, isn't it?
But you
Too
famously
takey.
did, was it Cultural Yacht Club or something you did? And you were too takey or you were slightly...
They loved it. It was their Christmas brunch, and 2 came into the. It was the best ever comeback I heard. But 2 of them came into the toilet, and one was like, "What did you think of your man?" Because they didn't have comedy. They had like the year before, it was a guy talking about tying knots and making seals. So he came out, it was like a brunch, and I when I went in, it was like a 10-course lunch.
Right.
And I was like, the only reason I knew which knife and fork they eat with course was because I watched Pretty Woman with my man. Your man worked from the outside in, But your mom was sitting beside me, and he's like, "So what line of work are you in?" And he didn't know I was there to do stand-up. And I was like, "Transport." And he was like, "What size is your fleet?" And I went, 1. Black taxi. And he was like, "What?" But I went into the toilet after, and two of them came in, and one was like, "What did you think of your man?" And he was like, "Hey, he's a very good actor." And he's like, "No, he's not. He's not an actor." And he went, "No, he is. And I've seen him in the lyric." And he went, "No. He is not an actor. He's one of those." And he went, "What?" And he went, "He is a fignon."
A fignon.
A fignon. And I was like, "Oh,
A fignon.
a fignon, not even a fignon, it was a fignon." And I was like, "That's beautiful. Like, that's the nicest insult, that anybody's ever said." But I opened the door and I says, "I think you'll find the term is tiag." But I know it's great when you do things like that, when you do gigs like that where it's out of your comfort zone and you just go and people be surprised.
A lot of corporates are out here because they're not there to pay. Haven't paid to see you. They're there to have a dinner or something. Sometimes they're going. They don't want to be there.
Of course they
because
don't.
They have to be there because the chief executives told them to be there, and then
they're with people that don't even like, and they're like,
"Can I get to the bar here?"
Exactly.
And
And weddings are the same.
Yeah.
Do you do weddings?
I've done a few weddings. Yeah.
Like, I can do them, but it's one of them things where you say to the bride and groom, "You just want this."
Yeah.
Sometimes the groom books you and doesn't even tell anybody else.
Yes.
It doesn't even tell the bride, and the bride's like, "What?" I got booked
Yeah.
to do one time. Paddy McGahey was like, where's the wedding you're doing?" I says, "The Tully Glass Hotel. Boxing Day, Celtic were playing Rangers." And Paddy was like, "Aye, can I come and watch that?" And I went, "Yeah, Paddy, I'm sure you could just walk in and let on you're at the wedding." And he was right to come and watch it because it was horrendous. I turned up. Your guy was...
Paddy McGahey, by the way, is the nicest man in local showbiz. He's a comedian from Ballymena. Lovely guy.
And should be bigger than what he is.
Yeah, he's a genius.
But Paddy turned up and we were standing in the foyer. Next minute, the groom comes in and he goes, "The wife didn't know you were coming. Like, I booked you, like, And I was like, right. He was from somewhere in Tyrone that sounded really Republican. And her daddy was the head of the Orange Order in Tyrone, in whatever town they were from. And his dad run the Gaelic club. So straight away, the wedding shouldn't have happened on Boxing Day when Celtic were playing Rangers.
Right.
So I'm sitting going, right, okay. So what do you want me to talk about? She went, "No sex, no politics, no..." And I just went, "Well, I have nothing else. I literally have nothing else." And she's like, "Well, if you do any of that, then you're not getting paid." And I'm looking at your man, he's going, "I've married her now, I have to listen to her." And I went out, and half the room loved it, and the other half didn't. But no, you for half
It
an
was
hour...
too late to send for Frank Sinatra.
So I was just like, "No, what? You are loving it. You hate this, right?" So I'm just continuing. So I just kept doing the gig and just counted it down. So you do stuff like that, and then...
You go to weddings and then you see a bunch of kids running around. You go, "Oh, your heart sinks."
You tell them, take them out,
Yeah,
them out, or they're listening to it. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes they tell you not to do stuff, but it does hamper it a wee bit. You just get used to it now. But done one in the morning actually during COVID, and I went into the room and there was silence, but there was no drink on any table.
All right.
And there's just one guy in the corner was laughing his head off at me, and I'm going. So I'm looking at the bride and groom, and I'm going, "I got nothing here." Like it was silence, but the no drink thing was me going, "What's the crack? Why is there no drink at this wedding? Is the groom a alcoholic or something?" And nobody's having fun because there's no drink at it. So I made my way up to the top table, and then I went to myself, "He's booked me, your man in the corner, that's his mate or something." And nobody wanted this. So I get up and I was like, "What's the crack? Well, why just book me?" And they went, "We didn't." And I was like, "Well, what just book?" And they were like, "Some guy to come in and sing opera songs in a disguise as a policeman or something." And I was like, "What? Who got this wrong?" So I walked out and the wee guy that was running the wedding was like, "I've put you in the wrong wedding." I went, I says, "What?" He says, "Yeah, you're in the wrong wedding." And then I says, "Well, where's the wedding I meant to do?" He says, "It's in there, but the wedding party's chasing the cop up the car park." So the other wedding that I was doing, your mum was from Short Strand or something, had just got out of jail like 8 months before. So your mum came in dressed as a cop and went, "Right, I'm looking the groom." And the man, "Are you fucking?" They chased him. Your mom's like, "I'm a singer." And then by the time they got everybody back in, I done it. The guy couldn't do the singing because he'd get chased around the car park. He's like, "I don't want to go in there and do performing." I thought, "Shut up now." Your mom's chased him, coming into my wedding. Thought it was a legit
You did do 2 gigs at the same time?
Done 2 gigs. But that was horrendous. Like, it was 15 minutes of torture, like everyone looking at us, and they were just like, well, it was a big Christian wedding, obviously.
Right, okay. Yeah.
It was like a DUP conference. It was terrible. It was horrendous.
But you've got to do those things, haven't you?
But that's
you've got
work.
to experience that. Yeah.
It's work.
Well, it's good. It's character building and all, but it also means you have no fear of anything. I've done loads of David Hull gigs and gigs. You go, this is going to be hard work.
Of course.
But then when you get the decent crowd and you've got your own material and you've got people that pay to see you,
Then that's the good
makes
bits of
it
it.
far easier.
Yes,
Doesn't it?
100%. And it just sets you in the right path. So it does.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it, like. I enjoy the bad ones as much as good ones.
But
It's
see,
just
I
stories,
kinda- Yeah, they're good stories.
you know, to tell people.
You enjoy the bad ones, but you prefer the selling out the SSE arena.
I know, they're great.
They're better. They're
They're
crack,
great.
aren't they?
They are.
When the check arrives.
Well, once it arrives, if it arrives. And for purposes of this, that's all voluntary. I don't get paid for any of it.
No, the HMRC or the avid viewers of this podcast.
Don't want to lose the tax credits, you know what I mean? Well, Mr. McDonnell, we've seen you on the Give My Head. It's not Give My Head piece, it's Give My Head podcast.
Yeah.
Why did you not put the full thing in? Could you not get piece?
No. Just
Was it just too long?
Give my head podcast. Yeah.
Get you.
Yeah.
Get you. I find it hard not saying that without saying piece at the
Well,
end.
you can say peace if you want, but it's not.
Give My
right.
Head
Yeah, it's
podcast.
okay.
Yeah, got it now. Got it now.
So doing an SSE, how many have you done now? Have you
3 of my own.
3 on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
For myself. I've done them for other things, but yeah, 3 of my own for my own show. Like.
I've never done one.
Yeah. We're
Done
going to have to
the upper.
change that, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do support for me next year.
Yeah. Do support?
Yeah.
Does that pay well?
You don't get paid.
You don't.
Nobody gets paid.
You
Did you
don't
not
get
listen to
paid?
me a minute
Yes,
ago? It's all
nobody gets
voluntary.
paid.
All right, sorry, of course, yeah.
It's all voluntary. It's
So-
for
oh,
the
you mean cash? Oh, brilliant.
pay you in a big case of Guinness. That would sort you out.
Of course it's voluntary. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, well, you're providing a public service. That's all you're doing. You
100%.
Yeah. You're bringing laughter, the gift of laughter to people.
Yeah, yeah. I'm helping people's mindset. But you're more than welcome if you want to do it. There
Oh,
you go.
thank you
get
very
offered.
much.
That's an exclusive on here. Tim McGuy. I know he's going to be on to me later on. I must have said pay.
You won't even get to the door.
I know I won't.
Here, I know this sounds sometime. We should stop doing this. We're shouting old now. But there's no black taxis anymore in the Falls
terrible.
Road. They've gone.
It's
The black
absolutely
hacks
terrible.
have gone, and that's part of our culture and heritage.
Are they actually gone?
They're completely gone.
There's still 23 drivers.
23 drivers. Mm-hmm. And you used to do that.
I used to do it. When I was on it,
There used to be hundreds on them.
When I was on it, I think there was 275 drivers or something like that.
Just on the Falls one, and then
That
there
was
was
just
the
the
All
Falls
you
Shanklin.
one.
had to do
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah, you
You
put.
got-
Now there was a difference. It's strange that there was a difference between what you done in a black taxi in the Falls and what you done in the Shankill. Did you know?
Right.
that?
No, I didn't know that.
They only stopped at bus stops,
All right.
whereas West Belfast won't stop
Stop
anywhere.
wherever you wanted.
Yeah, and then you wrap
click
the
the
window.
window.
But in the Shankill, you paid through the window from the back.
Right.
But in the West, you get out
Right,
and
you
pay
paid
through the
for
window
the
that way.
Yeah.
Right.
But I love being a taxi driver. It was great.
Yeah.
Like it was some crack, you know. Some
Did it not
stories,
get
you know.
like down and up and up and down and down and up and up and down? And it got a
Yeah,
bit
different
kind of
people, but in
tired,
its
like-
time, like, do you know what I mean? You were doing a queer amount of miles a day and stuff, and you're up and down, but there was different routes,
Right.
you know, and you got your day in just with a bit of crack with all the punters getting in, you know.
I used to get about 5 black taxis to try and get into town because in those days everybody smoked in the back of the black taxi. So as soon as people lit up, I would tap the window and get out, and then get another one.
you were way spud,
and
you
then
were
somebody
before
else
your
would
time.
literally take me about 5 taxis
I
to get into the town.
yeah, and probably then there was, I think that just they've always wanted to get rid of them because they're sort of like an illegal sort of, even though it was all done legit.
Right.
But it got down the stage when I was on them, then they were able to subsidise us for fuel because somebody in the taxis, quite a few of the drivers had degrees for some reason.
Right.
I don't know where they went to school to get them, you know? There was quite a few really intelligent black taxi men
Right.
down
Highly
there.
educated.
Highly educated. And I don't know where they got the degrees and I don't know how
University
they...
of
Yeah,
H block.
like you would literally be sitting and they're going, yeah, I've got a degree in psychology or I've got a degree in this, and you were going, why are you driving a fucking taxi? Well, I found it hard, I got a job, you know. All right.
Well, everybody thought when the Clay Air came in that it wasn't going to work. I remember that. Just everybody going, it's never going to work. It doesn't work. It's tried it in other cities and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Do you know how I knew it would work?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to fucking pay anybody when you get into
Yeah.
it.
The kids don't, and they get free internet.
Yes.
And so they go up and down on it. and
That
get on
was
with
it.
Yeah.
Is it when Conor Murphy was the transport minister, I was a taxi driver, and I remember them coming down, and I was going, "You're insane here. This is us done." Like, and everybody was like, "What?" And I was like, "This is us done. This is finished. That's like a vacuum cleaner going up the road, and you can get on it for nothing. Nobody asks you for anything. Now you can't get done." and they have the internet, as you said. I says, why would you squeeze in the back of a taxi with somebody that stinks when you can get on a big bus and stand wherever you want?
The glider killed the taxis.
Aye,
Killed the black
100%.
taxis.
It was like a big
Just
vacuum
for the
cleaner,
record,
just sucked up all the thing.
What the Brits and everybody tried to do
Couldn't do it, the glider done it.
Couldn't do it. The glider did it.
Aye.
Yeah.
For the record, Give Me a Headpiece podcast encourages people to pay when they get on the glider. Just for
I
the record, yes. And
see, because you're
I
knowing that.
don't want you to say the good people of West Belfast who don't pay their due. They would never do that. Don't want them.
I'm from the West, I can say it. I'm sort of like a Lord Mayor of West Belfast, I can say it. But I get on it with the kids one time. We were down at the Odyssey and we jumped on and I was like, what do you do here? And a fella standing there was like, you pay for it. So I paid for it and I had the ticket. And I was like, who do you hand the ticket to? And the guy went, there could be two randomers jump on somewhere. You just hold it in your hand and then when they get on, they check your ticket. And I was like, right. So we got on the Odyssey, the kids. The kids were loving it, by the way.
Yeah.
My daughter, we come down to school the other day and she was like, I hate that I can't get a bus. And I'm like, kids are standing in the rain waiting for a bus. You get picked up at the ferry door. But we get on the glider and we're going up the falls and all the school kids get on. And they're all going, where's your man, Paddy? And the wee guy went, what the fuck's that, Paddy? And I went, the fucking ticket. Who do you hand it to? And he went, Paddy, you're from West Belfast. You're always talking about being from West Belfast. And you've bought a ticket. And I went, and what? And he went, none of us buy tickets. And I went,
A badge of shame.
He was like, I can't believe you've done that there. It's a schoolboy. He was about 14 here. He was, you're Mr. West Belfast. Nothing. Look at you buying a fucking ticket. We're all going to look bad now because you have a fucking ticket. So if they come on and you have a ticket, then they can pull all us off. And I was like, fuck, right, right, fucked it away. we got to the Royal. The two inspectors got on. The guy was like, where's your ticket? And I went, I don't have one like everybody else. The bus, the school kid went, fuck, everything on the ground. He was laughing his head at me, wee fucker. But I know, I do miss the taxis. That's all nostalgic. There was stuff I was watching all day. Like when I was a kid, you went in the taxi. When I was driving them, you literally had that amount of people. You couldn't have any more than 6.
Yeah.
You know, we added a seat in the front, and then you had the 2 fold-down ones and the 3 at the back. But when I was a kid, they used to put a plank of wood, or there was a crate, and people sat in each other. You get in, your ma put you on top of a stranger's knee. Here, hold him. And pulled in the other kids, you know what I mean? All that.
But there's a brilliant piece of archive that we found when we were doing Pop Goes Northern Ireland, and it's 1974. And Bernard Folk, who was a very English TV presenter, you know, very English chap, comes under the bowler hat, and he came over from a show called Nationwide, and he came over and he got on the he basically took a West Belfast taxi, and he has this great time talking to the locals, get up and down in this taxi.
It was so
you know, but it's a great piece of
to see it.
Why are other people getting my taxi?
Yes, good Lord. I thought this was my taxi.
There was an American journalist one time get into one of the boys' taxis, and he came in and he was like, yeah, he's been told I can get a taxi cab here to the Sinn Féin Centre. And they're like, yes, jump in any one there. And he opened the door and he's like, there's other people in here. And they're like, fucking get in. Do you want to go up the road? Jump in the first one. They all go past it. The driver says he get up. Your man get out. I was like, how much is that? And he was like, $1.30. And he started counting out £20 notes. And he's like, no, £1.30. And he's like, what? And he's like, £1.30. And he's like, that's for nothing. And he was like, here. And he gave him a score. And the driver was like, everybody out. And they went, what do you mean? He went, everybody out. He went, do you want me just to drive you about? You see the man of notes. And he put everybody in a taxi and he waited on the end coming out and took him the whole week. He was here, the journalist, wherever he was going, he ended up in Derry and everything. Your mum was like, I don't need to work for a month now.
All is out.
All is out. Out. Everybody out. See the big man of notes.
I went to Bali, Indonesia. And they have
black taxis here.
No, I was going to tell
Ballymurphy.
Yeah. Well, this was not Ballymurphy, but it was kind of similar. It was they're in the Bali, but they have they're not black taxis, but they're like wee small minibuses that they call BMOs. You get a BMO, and a BMO is exactly like a black. It was like almost like I hadn't left the West because they have these wee BMOs that go up and down all around the place, you know. And if you sort of speak nicely, you know, they'll take a wee detour and leave you somewhere.
You off where you need to go.
And they're all the one price. It was like the way the black taxis
Dalmas
were.
in Turkey's the exact same. It's the same as the black taxis. Dalmas and their wee minibuses like that, slightly bigger. Because I was looking at them when I was in Turkey, I was going, can I get one of them to go up and down the falls? Because we slidey door and all that. You can get more people in there. But the taxis were great.
Sadly missed.
It is. It's a bit of a thing, like, you know, it's just gone now, but modern life.
And it was that sort of establishment thing where they just didn't like the fact that, you know, working class people could create a job for themselves.
Yeah.
And didn't have to rely on anything else. You know, they did it for
Yeah,
themselves.
they thought it was for the community, by the community sort of thing, and then they were like, no, we need to get rid of this. So
No, that doesn't work for us.
No.
No.
I think once that we started getting subsidies for our diesel because we were public transport as well as Translink. And Translink was like, what do you mean they're getting it now too? So it was like splitting all. So there's just loads of things with it, but it's
And
sad.
you were an ambassador for Translink, an ambassador for public transport.
Yeah. They had me on. I started doing comedy on the buses when we were doing years ago.
Yes, I remember you doing comedy live on a bus.
On a bus, and which was great because the Peter O'Neill that used to run the
Belfast
the
Comedy Festival. I remember Peter O'Neill from
So
Queens. Yeah.
Pete was like, "Yeah, Paddy, what is this?" And I was like, "Well, what we'll do is if you go up the falls and the Shankill, and we'll do comedy on the bus. So it's a bit of a tour, but a comedy show." And we were going up, and at the time, the band on the Shankill were stopped from parading because they had done something outside St Patrick's. So they were having the Conway, whatever the band is, but they were having like a protest in the middle of the Shankill, and we're coming up in the bus, and they're playing the band, and Pete's like, what we do? And the bus driver's like, I don't know, I can't turn down any of these streets. And I went, don't worry about it. And I had 2 balaclavas. I had a red, white and blue one, and I had a green, white and orange one. And I had a blue Adidas jacket, the green one, so I lifted the blue Adidas. You can ask Pete about this because he says to me, "This'll live with me till I die." And I put the blue thing on, and I pulled the red, white, and blue thing, and I stood up, and there was an open top bus, and I went, "Yeah!" And they all turned around and went, "Yeah!" He stuck up with the bus, all the tourists on him. They started, and then parted the waves, and we were going up, and the cops was flashing the lights at us, like, "Don't be getting up there." And we went up, and I was like Teen Wolf on the top of this thing with a big Union Jack balaclava, and the whole of Shackles, yeah! And all the people sitting in the bus going, "What the fuck is this?" And we get up, and people's like, "I can't believe this." We got the larynx way, and I took it off and stuck the green, white, and orange one on. The people was like, but everybody loved them. You know,
Yeah.
it was a bit of crack.
I turned on the Christmas tree lights in the Shankill.
Did you?
Yeah, I did the countdown in Irish.
Did you really? And did they all laugh?
Yeah, they were brilliant.
They loved it?
Yeah. They were brilliant, but though the people asking me to do the gig kind of were lovely, but they were friends of people who were, you know.
I got told a great
You where I
story
lived.
about that. People turn the lights on. I don't know how true it is, but I was told by another comedian. But Willie Caulfield done a gig for. Did you know about this story?
Yes.
You know,
I haven't heard this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, right?
Go ahead.
Coffee, old style comedian. Does all
Willie
Jimmy and
Caulfield. He
stuff.
does
Good guy.
cruise ships and all,
He's a
right?
good guy.
But Willie got asked to do a gig for Johnny Adair and his crew in the Shackles.
Well, to be fair, he didn't know it was.
He didn't know. He turned up and he was like, "Where's this gig?" And they brought him up to his
He
cage.
thought it was a Remembrance Sunday thing and thought it was going to be very respectable gentlemen and all with their their puppies.
was Johnny and his squad.
And it turned out to be the back of a shebeen and Johnny.
But he said he had to go through a cage and all. And Johnny was in this big office with all TV screens, you know, like with a white cat.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, "Listen, all the boys in there, I've got them a comedian. If you just tell them Johnny loves this joke, right?" So Willie says he went in, they're all sitting with their tops and all on, just looking at him. He cracked the first joke. He says they're all looking at him, and he went, "Johnny thought it was funny," and they all went, "Yeah!" So he says every joke he done, he was cool. Johnny thought that was great. Right? So he came out the back, he says, Johnny said, "Oh, that sounded like a man brilliant, Willie. Oh, yeah, go, where's your money? Where's an extra couple of quid and all?" He says, "Listen, I'll get you anything you want, any more work and all, you let me know." So your man, it was the big brother, Tyrone Tom.
Oh, yes, Tyrone Tom, we won the first.
He was the one that Gaelic. It was the first big. I don't think he won it, but he was on it anyway.
Yeah.
But Portadown, we're going to get him to turn the Christmas lights on because he was a bit of a celebrity out here. And what do you call the one that was up there that died? The paramilitary.
Billy Wright.
Billy Wright says, if Tyrone Tom turns on the fucking lights in this town, I'm shooting him.
Right.
So the agent contacted Willie and says, "Can you talk to Johnny Adair because he thinks you're brilliant and see if he can sort something out." So Willie's like, "You serious?" He's like, "Just ring him." So he's ringing him and he says, "Is there anything you can do?" And Johnny says, "I'll sort it out." Johnny phoned up Portadown and Billy Wright and says, "See if Willie Caulfield doesn't turn on the fucking lights in Portadown, I'm gonna fucking shoot this." So it had the opposite effect of the whole. And he was like, "That's not what I wanted. I just wanted Tyrone Tom to get doing them." He's like, "Nah, you're fucking turning them on."
So, great
And that
gig.
was that.
That was that. So Willie turned on the lights and everybody in Portadown was like, "Fuck's this?"
You see, young people today, they don't miss stories like that.
I miss the troubles.
So do we. We had a career out of it. Ah, dear God. Yeah, those days are long gone, thankfully.
No, it is. It's
Thankfully.
good they're gone. It is. It is. It's good it's gone. But it just shows you the crack that people had, like,
Yeah.
through all them hard times, you know,
Yeah.
the kind of thing.
John Lennon tells a great story about being warmed up by the Ra, but we'll get him on to tell it sometime. Been warmed up by the and then a senior Ra man.
I was a volunteer. Like,
You were
not
a
that way.
volunteer?
Not that way.
Whoa.
Let me just say, at the field of football, I was a runner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The night Mark Steele. Do you remember this?
Oh, Mark Steele, yeah. Mark Steele. Mark
I
Steele
met
was
him in Edinburgh 2 years ago and he was talking about you.
Oh no, I had a, yeah.
Do you know this one?
No.
Mark Steele, you know Mark Steele,
Mark
great,
Steele, I know Mark
great
Steele,
left-wing
yes,
comedian,
yes.
really good guy, lovely
Good
guy.
guy, yeah,
It was
yeah.
it was our West Belfast festival. It was a bit rough. The crowd were Hall Cup.
But they were loving you,
They were like me.
right? And who was on? Was Willie Wade on?
Willie Wade from Dublin.
And John Cleary
Yeah.
was the other one. So it was a very Irish sort of, and then Tim was the local, you know. But I remember because I was runner for Mark Steele. Tim went, right, talking about the bits. Here's one night. Here's Mark Steele. And he came out and everyone went, bastard. Didn't even open his mouth.
No, it's not quite like that. I did build him up. I did try to build him up because I'm a fan of Mark Steele, but I did tell a couple of jokes that could be misinterpreted. Could have been
Is
misinterpreted.
this your legally getting out of
Yes.
Yes.
And poor Mark, he didn't last. He lasted 10 minutes.
Can I tell you the best bit about it?
What,
He got an
still-
apology from the IRA. And I says, Mark, you fucking take that because that's a hard thing to get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Did he
because
get-
Mark's all very left wing and would have been
Mark's
quite
totally
sympathetic.
When I seen the boys in doubt went, on behalf of the people of West Belfast, can I just apologise, Mark, that they didn't give you a chance?
I think if I'm right, Danny Morrison was backstage at the
Yes,
time.
yes.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, and
I was never even thought I'd be doing comedy back then. I was just
Yeah.
literally a runner to go and get drinks and stuff for people.
Jake tells a story about another year. It was Jason Manford. He was in the big tent in
Well, I done that.
And did Jake warm up?
No, he didn't.
Was that you? Was it you warmed
Mm-hmm.
up? And Jason Manford said, what did his first opening line was?
What happened was, I done the first 20 minutes, then I brought Willa Wade on, and Willa opened by going, oh yeah, about the junkies. Dublin, people went, we don't talk about drugs in West Belfast. So poor Willie, good mate of mine, he just had a hard time and he was just like, fuck this, put the mic down. So I went to run out and grab the mic and Jason was like, you're not going to fucking back out. Just fucking stop. You can give a break and then you can go out before me. And he was like, what is the crack here? And I went, right, this is West Belfast. I says, do not mention anything to do with the Brits. Do not mention anything to do with us. So Jason was very smart because he went out and he went, is there any Liverpool supporters then? Is there any Man United? So he got the whole boo, yeah, boo. So he went out and I says, do not mention that you're just back from Camp Bastion, right? Which he had been for the British Army, right? So he does this whole thing about a helicopter getting attacked and all, and he was flying in to do the gig for the troops. And he's like, really? And I was like, don't do it. And he was like, right. So he walks out, he does the whole football thing, and he was like, I was just after doing a gig for the British Army over in Afghanistan. The crowd went, boo! And he went, they're fighting the Taliban. And everybody went, yo! And he went, oh, so you're for the fighting the Taliban? Boo! He went, so you're supporting the Taliban? They went, yo! He went, okay, we're not doing any of that material. He just moved on. But he was brilliant.
All right.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, Keelty the next year wasn't...
No.
The biggest thing that shocked me about Keelty was that he... the biggest boo of the night was about Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah, because he done a joke about the hunger strikers and it didn't go down too well.
Oh.
But then he done a bit about Whitney Houston and the women of West Belfast like, you're not doing it about our sister, no fucking way. He got a fucking biggest boo about fucking Whitney Houston and I was like, fucking hell, Whitney Houston's well got there.
Yeah.
There's going to be a mural of her in the Way Dark Road here next week.
And that was the end of Keaty's career.
That was it.
Where is he now?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Where is he? And one of the best we heard from the Troubles was told to us by George Jones. And he says he was playing in the band, you know, the club sound sort of thing. And he was doing this bar, he was playing in one of the bars, and they had trouble with bomb threats. So they had a code worked out that if there was a genuine bomb threat, the band would play Three Blind Mice, and that was a code to evacuate the building. So if you right, everybody out, you know, quietly, just get everybody out, you know. So Anyway, they're playing away one night, and of course the bomb threat comes in. The guy comes in from the bar, gives him the nod. It's a genuine bomb threat. So George goes, right, okay, 3 blind mice, and then his guitarist goes, what key?
It's just a thing, like, for fuck's sake. It's mad. It's like I say to people, even in West Belfast, a fire alarm goes off in the building. Nobody moves.
No.
Everybody's sitting in the restaurant. What is that? I'll go off in a minute. Nobody flinches.
Yeah.
It's a mad thing, isn't it? That
You wouldn't leave a pint, right? Just because there's a bomb scare.
we went over with a Man United supporters club one time to watch a United match, and we were in Manchester, and a guy came in to rob the bar, but the bar was like an L shaped, so we didn't flinch. Like, we did see people like fucking falling, but that's something you would see in a bar in West Belfast anyway. But we didn't see the guy coming in. And when the cops and all arrived at the scene, now it turned out it was a replica, but the cop came over and he's like, why did you not, he was sort of suspicious, like, did these know your man, you know?
Right.
Why did this not move? And we turned around and went, what the fuck are you talking about? He heard the action straight away. He went, it's fine. They're off in Belfast. And we were like, what are you talking about? Like, a guy came in with a gun there. The whole bar was on the floor. And they're like, these guys are just sitting drinking away. We were like, we didn't see him. Like, we would have Dave down in Madison, but we didn't see him. But he was just like, no, it's a Belfast thing.
Yeah.
Paddy, I can't believe it. It's almost an hour. We've been chatting away here.
Done.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for
what have you?
having
Do you want to plug anything before you go? When's your tour? When's
Tour
your
kicks
SSE
off after
arena?
Christmas. SS Arena is next year. We're not even putting that on sale. You have to go and see a show first. So
Right.
Dagger show's out on tour. I think we're starting in February. We're everywhere in the country. We're going to
All right.
add more dates, and we're going to be everywhere. And then over in England, do they watch this in England?
Yeah, they watch
Happy
it.
days.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on most of the cities in England. That's going to be a wee Irish thing, like an Irish tour. It's a different show too.
Right.
And then we'll be on to America and Australia, wherever we're going.
America and
with
Australia.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Wow.
so all good.
The good gigs, are they?
Coming to what?
Are they good gigs?
Well, the Australia was great. I haven't done America yet, you know, so it'll be the first tour of America. We'll see what way it goes.
Yeah, you'll be playing a Trump rally or something, will you?
Well, it went the whole way to Australia, and fucking everybody in the audience was from fucking here.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just like there was 2 Australians in each show or something, do you know, that way. Or fucking, but it was great. It's good to get over.
Well,
and
let
do
us
it.
know when you get your invite to the White House.
Don't know if that's coming or not. Don't know.
Paddy, thank you very
No
much.
problem. See you later.
Thank you very much. And Give Me Headpiece, by the way, just is on tour as well. All of March of next year. We're all over the place, starting in the Riverside in Coleraine, ending in the Opera House in Derry on the 4th and 5th of March. Yeah. And so get your tickets now. Thank you very much once again to our fantastic sponsors, Phoenix Energy NI. Go to phoenixenergyni.com. If you're thinking of switching your energy, gas is the way forward, ladies and gentlemen. It's very friendly for the environment. Help Phoenix Energy. Go to phoenixenergyni.com. Thank you for listening. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and follow the podcast, and go. There are loads of there's about 20 episodes now online. You can catch up with some of the old episodes. We will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paddy.
Cheers.